Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to the Real Chatbox Show with your cute host, O.B. Slender. On this show, we discuss pertinent social issues, education, entertainment, fashion, religion, wellness, mental health, what have you. What do they say? A healthy mind lives in a healthy body. So let's make our physical fitness a priority. Let's meet each week here with our distinguished guests. Cheers. Hello, wonderful viewers. Welcome to the Real Chatbox Show with your cute host, O.B. Slender. This show is proudly sponsored by Duchess Merchants Capital, GH Media Schools, and Soundway Productions Limited. We are here today with a legend. He's a playwright, a director, a pioneer, a lecturer, what have you. Let's go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, he will introduce himself properly. Stay tuned. Hello. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you.
This is a legend. The professor is here with us. A teacher, a lawyer, an engineer can boast, but a teacher taught them all. Prof, welcome once again to the Real Chatbox Show.
Thank you.
Can you please tell us about yourself, your basic education, your tertiary, and what started the interest of theater?
Well, I must say that I schooled at several places
Okay.
in my youthful days. When my father was a Presbyterian head teacher, catechist. So we went to the Brownhafo. We stayed in Sunyani. I remember that very well. And then we came across to Christia, Western region. And then back to the Eastern region, Achima Prade.
Okay.
And then to Aguna Kwaman, where I passed the common entrance from the Methodist Middle School. And there I went to Infantil School.
Wow,
MOBA.
Sharp.
And from MOBA, I went to PTC, Ekropong Presbyterian Training College. And from there, I came to Legon for my A-levels. And I joined my mates who went to sixth form. So we spent 3 years at Legon. And from there, I went to Cape Coast to teach.
So the Legon, was it a diploma course or?
It was a diploma course.
Okay.
I went to Cape Coast along with 2 other colleagues, classmates, and Estabekwe and Kofi Middleton.
Okay.
Now, I went to St. Augustine's.
Oh, action,
Yes.
action, and good saying.
And Kofi Men's went to Infantsipim. And Estabekwe went to Agri Memorial to teach. And the reason being that both Kofi Men's and I went to Infantsipim, but he was my senior.
Okay.
So I think he went to Infantsipim and I
Chose
Augustine's. But while we were in Cape Coast, we put on productions, excerpts from plays for the O-levels and A-levels on stage, going around the schools and all of that. That's how it all started. And then 5 years, and after 3 years at St. Augustine's, Mr. Mens left Infantsipim to the Film Corporation, and I went and replaced him at Infantsipim.
Okay.
I always wanted to be at my alma mater. So I did that after 2 years. Then I got a British Council scholarship to the UK, Bristol University. to study for my master's program. And after 2 years there, I came back to Ghana and I joined the University of Cape Coast as a lecturer. After 3 years in Cape Coast, I got another scholarship, university scholarship to the US. I went to study for my PhD at Brandeis University.
Okay.
And I spent a good 10 years in the US.
Wow. That's a lot of time.
But then I spent 3 years doing my PhD. And then beyond that, I taught various universities there.
Okay.
And then I came back to Ghana and I joined the School of Performing Arts in 1987. And I've been there or here since then.
Okay.
So in a long shot,
Okay.
that takes me to the journey at the beginning to now.
So if I get you right, the interest started when you got to St. Augustine teaching, or it has been there ever since you were a child?
So the interest began when I was a student at advanced film school.
Okay.
But then it was more or less remnants of things, not fully recognized. Then when I went to PTC Ekropon to teach, I remember writing and directing 2 plays there.
Okay.
And so from there, I came to Legon. So the idea is, while we were I was at Infants Film, the British Council used to come and show films. And I do remember quite well that they showed King Henry V.
Okay.
And that was our set book when I was a student there. And then they came to show King Richard III.
Mm-hmm.
And both were performed and acted by Laurence Olivier.
Okay.
I think he was, at that time, the greatest Shakespearean actor, Britain. And I fell in love with the theater then.
Okay.
So that was the beginning of my involvement in the theater at that level.
So then Shakespeare is your favorite playwright, I can tell.
Shakespeare is my favorite playwright.
Okay.
You're right.
All right. So as a playwright, what inspires you to write the plays? How do you develop your ideas?
It's a very difficult question, because different plays are determined by different circumstances.
Okay.
All right. But let me say that most of my plays have been determined by very personal experiences and observations in life.
Okay.
And so I'll say that from my own personal levels, I've been able to look at life from very different angles. Yes.
Okay. So then your process of writing, your crafting of characters, plots, dialogue, it's all based on what you just said, the observations and everything there.
That's correct.
Okay. So, what do you balance? How do you balance your artistic vision with commercial viability in your work?
I never considered myself in the commercial era.
Okay.
Or realm. Remember, I was a teacher.
Sure.
I've always been a teacher since 1966 when I left Legon. And I went to be studying here in Britain, and I was still teaching.
Okay.
And then from Cape Coast, I should have gone back to Cape Coast when I returned from the US. But something occurred. I think somebody in Cape Coast, this was happening, wrote to me when I was in the US. If I didn't come back I should consider myself having vacated my post.
Wow.
So I did. I vacated my post and I stayed. So when I got back to Ghana, 1986, thereabout, I went to Cape Coast and I realized things had gone on without me. So I came back here to greet Miss Loco, who was then the director and head of department of the department, theater arts.
Theater arts.
And she actually called me on the tree out there. Said, Martin, I said, yes, madam. Why don't you come and join us here? You are my matter. So I'll think about it. And I started it.
Okay.
So I quickly filled the form here. And I went, Cape Coast were not very ready. And I came and I stayed. GTV, they were running various shows. And I was invited to participate, for example, Law in Practice.
Okay.
Professor Okyere Owusu was running program, Law in Practice. I was invited to come or go there and add the dramatic element.
Okay.
So I joined her. I listened to her talk. And then I wrote a short play depicting what she was talking about. And we had this acted at the studio. It was covered. So it became a kind of a matching kind of thing. So that was one example. And I wasn't paid, like having done all that, I'll be.
Yeah, for the love of the job.
Love of it. So before then, I hadn't done anything commercial, if you want to call it. So one of the great things that, or few things that sent me almost to the commercial was Kawansan's film, Heritage Africa. Heritage. I played a role in it. I was Mr. Roberts, Mr. Bostonfield's secretary. And I remember, even that we didn't talk about payments and so forth. At the end of it, I was given something.
Something small for the boys.
For the boys. So, and I thanked them, and I left.
Was it because that time you are only looking at exposure and not looking at it as a business venture?
Very good point you have raised there. You know what? I was still a lecturer. And going to GBC or doing things on the Kawansan or I did an advert for the insurance company.
By the way, how old are you? Viewers, if you didn't see that commercial, then you are still a baby. Let's go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, Prof will give us more details on his journey. Welcome, lovely viewers. We are still with the legend, Professor Martin Owusu. So he was telling us about his commercial that he did. That was a long, long time ago. Prof, it's been a while since we saw you on the screen, the acting aspect of you. Do you still engage in acting or?
Oh, after a few years now, I have not been on. I think the last time I was on the screen was a Kawansan's Jesus Christ Plus One. I was an old man in that film. And I remember it was shot at the Trade Fair site.
Okay.
And since then, I've not been on the screen again.
Okay. So what draws you to a particular role or character? And how do you prepare for such performances?
So interesting. I've never chosen a role to play.
Okay.
I'm invited.
Yeah,
I take it.
No audition, nothing.
No audition.
Okay.
No. Kowansan especially, he knows the role that he's written, and he calls you, "I'd like you to play this role." Fine, and I do it. Uh-huh. For the stage, when I direct and I'm playing a role, I decide which role to play.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Otherwise, anything can go.
Sure. So how do you describe your experience working with different directors and the other theater companies?
Other theater companies, I have not worked with many companies since I came to Accra.
Okay.
Now, in Cape Coast, we went around the schools doing excerpts from plays on stage. Okay, and then we established the All Schools Theater Festival, annual, which ran for several years. Mr. Mens left, Mr. Bekwe left. I ran it for a while, and then I also left. And I think that to keep the end of the theater festival. But apart from that, I've not really joined any theater company, even in Accra.
Okay.
I remember that Mr. Benabdala, Dr. Benabdala,
Okay.
directed a play by Kawansa, Mother's Tears.
Mm-hmm.
And I played an old man in it at the Art Center then.
Yes.
The National Theatre was not yet built. And I played a role in that. I believe that's about the only time that I've really gone out there.
And that's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, yes.
National Theatre was 1995.
Correct that.
So that was before 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so how do you balance the physical, emotional, and the technical demands of acting?
Very good. Emotionally, I like that. I like playing serious roles, tragedies. I like comedies and all of that. Melodrama especially.
Okay.
But physically, I don't fight. In life, I can't fight. I don't like fighting.
Yeah,
and I don't fight on stage either. But when it comes to fighting through dialogue, I can do that very well.
That very, very well.
Yes, indeed.
So what advice would you give the young actors looking to build a sustainable future with acting?
I think they should study the rules. Study the rules that they encounter. Not just get up and put your script down. When it's time for rehearsal, pick it. Good. Without studying it. It's happening here. Sometimes you're directing a play and students come on stage. They're not prepared. They don't know the role they are playing. They haven't even read the script. So you see, I think that is one of the pieces of advice that I like to give them. Please, take each role seriously. Even though that you are not playing, understand them and let them help you understand and appreciate the role that you are playing.
Yes.
And I think that will take you further than what anybody imagined.
But do you think the school has relaxed on its discipline and the training that used to be there?
I don't think the question of the school relaxing. The students,
the generation,
rising up to meet the challenges. So sometimes you think of a school of theater, for example, and that lecturers are supposed to teach students how to perform, how to act. It's happening all right. But the studying,
the attitude towards
the work depends on the student. That's why there's a difference between a lecturer who lectures and a student who studies. You see?
Sure.
And I think that the lecturer provides a guide, but the student must follow and present the rules. I'm sure that those who are in this room or those who are yet to be around will tell you that I never taught them how to act, They know it. Let them understand what is the demand of the role. Now go on that stage and do it. And they'll do it.
Sure.
Sure. You see.
So let's go for a short commercial break. We'll come back shortly with the legend, Professor Martin Owusu. Stay tuned. Welcome back, lovely viewers. We are still here with the legend, the pioneer, the lecturer, the director, the playwright, Professor Martin Okyere. He is my favorite lecturer. There are things that he comes to the lecture hall and he will say that will make you laugh your hearts. Prof, please, that's Latin.
Kukuluston facet monakum.
Oh, yeah, I don't know up to now. I don't know whether it's true.
Yes.
Prof, is it real or?
Oh, it is in Shakespeare's 12th Night.
Then why do you say meboa?
Because it has no meaning to the lecture.
And the other things he says, I hear he stopped saying one of them. But what's wrong is one of the things that he say during every lecture. People came into the school not wanting to do theater, but it was imposed on them. But they leave majoring in theater.
Correct.
Honestly. And it's all due to Professor Martin Okyere. Books that you've not read, he will come to class and he will just say everything from, I don't know, word to word, like he's holding the book. And you write the exams and pass because he is a teacher, not a lecturer. That's why I call him. Professor Martin Okyere, let's go to your directorship role. Like, what draws you to a particular script or project? And how do you approach interpretation of that particular script?
Good, thank you. Sometimes there's a demand. You are called upon to direct. For example, in this department, each year, beginning of each year, there's a call for productions.
Okay.
And I happen to love directing. So when there's a call for directing, I look around and not many people show up their hand, and I do. And I direct. Sometimes too, I decide to direct a particular play that I want to showcase. All right. And so it is a question of me delving into the whole idea of the theater, the directing as one of the major areas, especially after playwriting.
Okay.
All right. So, having written the play, I want to see it directed. And in this school and elsewhere, if you don't direct your own play, it won't be done.
Okay.
Sometimes the play is there, and the students will be directing other things. They will never touch your play. So, please, we would like to direct this play, like the story Anansi told.
So,
a student did it, but it was my pleading with that student. Can you do it so I can also enjoy somebody else doing it my play? Okay, so I'll do it. So that's how it happened.
okay. With your collaboration with other departments during the production, like the designers and other collaborators, how is the relationship and how do you go about it to get them, to let them understand what you want?
Very good point. When a production is taking place, there's what we call the production conference,
okay,
where everybody, technical and artistic, they meet. And the director shows them his or her meaning, what he has derived from the text.
Okay.
And the roles shared, what each one is supposed to do and so forth. Then scripts are distributed And there's a reading by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We all read through and discuss meanings here and there and so forth. That's how I think we relate. That's the beginning of the relationship of all those who are supposed to be involved in the production. Then from there, we go our separate ways. But then I keep monitoring how things are going according to the areas that have been assigned. And I think that without imposing, say, no, I don't want this, and you're not doing the right thing, no, I don't do that way at all. I like to say, but if I don't like it, I'll find a way of saying it to make you feel happy, but you want to change it.
That's a lovely way to go about things.
Isn't it?
Okay. So what advice would you give the emerging directors looking to establish themselves in the industry?
You see, this tendency of saying, I'm the boss on the set should be
toned down
a bit. You are the director. Somebody is in charge of costume. You are not directing the costume.
Exactly.
Somebody is in charge of props. You are not directing them. There's somebody in charge of props and so forth. There are other things, makeup and so on and so forth. I think the relationship is to get them to understand their role, what you demand of them, and what they demand of you as one who should respect the role they are playing. At the end of it all, we all come together and we share our experiences together. So I think that is the manner in which I think that we should all go.
You being a lecturer, you've been at lecturing for how many years?
Lecturer?
Yes.
Well, we're from Cape Coast, 1970.
That's 50 years.
No, 1973 to 76. Then I went to the UK.
Okay.
Came back, and then I joined Cape Coast 3 years. Then I went to US. And there, I taught at several universities in the Boston area, Massachusetts. Then I came back to join the School of Performing Arts, Theatre Arts Department. And I've been lecturing here since then. Once in a while, I go back to the US, especially on sabbatical.
Okay.
And I went there to teach at Southern University for 1 year, and I came back.
You came back.
And whilst I was there, I directed 2 of my plays, Akusika and the story and answer to there.
So let me ask you this question. Recently, Akusika was done at the National Theatre.
Yes.
How did you feel sitting back, watch a student that you taught here direct the play with all the aesthetics and everything? How did you feel?
I was asked this question and I was asked to grade the production on stage. Now, certain things must be said. The director of that play inserted 2 scenes of his own, not part of the play. Secondly, something happened in the production. There's a snake supposed to be conjured.
Yes.
And the snake is supposed to call Aku to put her left arm in his mouth.
Yes.
Flaming mouth. And remove it, and the hand is back. In that production, they didn't use a snake for that.
Okay.
They used some dwarfish people, some short people, 3 of them. And they did a whole lot of things. I didn't see the snake. And so I asked the director, how come? And I think I got some explanation. So now, there's another scene which was inserted, like a market scene, which they inserted. And then there was another scene where people were drinking at the drinking bar. And there was a woman sitting in there who said she hated people who were deformed. Naku had a deformed, right? And when she got up to walk, she herself was deformed. And the audience laughed a great deal and all that and so forth. Now, when you look at that play, therefore, most part was my play. But those that they inserted, I think, shifted it to some other level. And so, I did it here again. And I used a snake because it was a set book for level 100.
Okay.
And they needed to see the actual
Play as it is.
as it is. So, but scoring what they did, I gave them 13 over 12.
13 over 12.
Yes.
That means they exceeded your expectation?
In a certain way. They combined 3 different theater groups, and the National Symphony Orchestra, the dance ensemble, the National Theatre Players, all of these together. I mean, it was a huge cast. I must say, it was big. And I like that idea. I've never seen the play done with such magnitude.
Yeah.
George Quay was behind it. And so I liked it.
You liked it. So you felt so proud seeing your play on stage being directed by somebody else.
Correct.
Okay.
But then the insertions also diminished a little bit of what I had written. Okay. In other words, the language wasn't mine.
Your language.
It wasn't my language.
Yeah.
But I liked the whole show.
Whole show. You felt so proud.
Seeing
your work on stage.
That's it.
Nice. Okay, so what was the first play you wrote?
I wrote?
Yes.
I wrote a children's play.
Okay.
The Adventures of Sasa and Nisi.
Oh yeah, that play.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the government at that time bought 55,000 copies.
Wow.
For use in class 5.
Prof, who hit it? Who hit it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So investing in
all right. And it was sold at the bookshop here the first time. And when then I saw my play on
the shelf,
I bought a copy.
Wow.
Myself.
It was so
went back there, bought another copy. Make sure that I bought about 5 copies. It was sold as 20% or something at that time. But that was when I just left Legon. So when I came back and I saw a book on the shelf, I was very proud and very happy. My first play, children's play. But for the stage, it was The Story Anansi Told, which I wrote for the staff of St. Augustine's.
Oh.
And they performed it. I directed it.
Oh, nice.
With the staff. The staff was made up of English, American, Irish, and so forth. Catholic University. The staff were Catholic teachers and all of that. I directed them. And we did it there and came back to GTV. And we did it for national television.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
You're really a legend.
Oh.
You're really a legend. Well, like with the staff productions here, is it still ongoing or because it's been, I don't remember the last time I saw a staff production at the University of Ghana here, like School of Performing Arts. It's been a while that I saw a staff production with staff, with lecturers being part of the production. It used to be here.
I tried that. I think the last time was, no, it's a while ago.
It's been a while. Is there a reason?
Different interests. I think that now most of the staff used to be students here, you know.
Yes.
Now I think when you get to a certain point,
You don't feel like acting
acting
being
anymore.
on the stage.
Thank you.
But I think that would be a perfect example for especially the level 100s coming.
I
to
do
the
remember
school.
the last
Yeah.
time I directed this legal law play. The title I forget.
Inspector calls.
Say it again.
Is it the inspector calls? Or?
No. This one by Agatha Christie. It was a thriller on stage.
Persecution for the prosecute, something like that.
You see, it has left my mind. But Sarah Dagbaji and Kuma, they played the roles. And then the present head of department, Mr. Dr. Bernard, played a role in it. And then I also played a role in it. I think that was the last time the staff went on stage. But I remember the title soon.
Okay. So, viewers, Professor has a lot to tell us. Let's go for another short commercial break, and when we come back, he will give us his final words. Welcome back, lovely viewers. Prof, Tobias and the Angel. I know it's one of your favorite plays, and it's a 2-hour or more.
Correct. Yes, indeed.
And you have to go for transmission. Viewers, I must say that I was part of that production, and I was a dancer.
Oh, well,
I
really?
was part of the Azora dancers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
The challenges and all that, because it's very lengthy. To get audience to sit for 2 hours, you go for transmission, and they are still glued. I remember that production, still glued to their seats, waiting to see what happens.
I think that it was one of my favorite productions. It called upon the music department, the dance department, the theater department, put them all together. And I enjoyed directing it. In fact, I did it again, but it wasn't the same thing as the original. No, I remember having seen it when I was in Form 2 at Infant Film School by the staff. And it remained here.
Oh.
So I came and I did it here too.
Lovely.
Yes, indeed.
Because that play is something else. And Prof, I heard that the Angel, is it fully at that time had B, and it was heartbreaking.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I remember Auntie Cecilia J.
Yes.
Costumier.
Mm-hmm.
She designed
the costume,
all the devils in it and all of that and so forth. Another thing I enjoyed doing was Dr. Faustus.
Mm-hmm. I was
Dr.
coming
Faustus.
to that actually.
Auntie C also designed the costumes. You know, there are quite a number of devils in that play.
Yeah.
And she designed.
That play is really intense.
Indeed.
What was the experience with that? Did you have any challenges? And I can see you love directing lengthy plays. Is there a reason, like, does it challenge you or something like?
Now, please let me let you know that Shakespeare's time,
okay,
plays were 5 acts.
Wow.
Okay. Then it was reduced to 3 acts. Now we are doing 3-act productions.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes 1 act and so forth. But the plays, Shakespeare's time, 5 acts. And Marlowe's play, Faustus, was before Shakespeare. It was even suggested that Marlowe was Shakespeare. Again, they're still debating that. But Faustus was again a very lengthy play. I must say, about 3 hours long. And I think people are drawn to it by the manner in which the action unfolded gradually and so forth. And then there's a break. Then we continue to the end and so forth. And I think that today, 1.5 hours.
We are done with the production.
Done with it and so forth. But I think that the 2-hour, 3-hour productions also had their own intake. So I still believe in those long ones too.
Yeah, inspired by Shakespeare, so definitely you would love it. Right. Your plays usually, I can see you enjoy total theater, I must say, because you engage, you like music in your plays, you like dancing and all that. Like,
yes, indeed.
From our cultural background or our storytelling setting, you have singing, you have dancing, like, is that what inspires you to?
It is very good point you have raised. The story Anansi told, which I wrote as an Augustans. In fact, this semester coming, I plan to do it here. It's a total theater, music, dance, drama. So it's a musical, an African musical.
Okay.
I like to call it that way. And I like to have Juju compose some of the music in it.
Because I can see he composes most of your...
Oh, yes, he does.
Akusika.
And all those things.
Even with the Tobias and the Angel, the Asmodean song, that was our favorite.
I composed a lot of but the technical things he did.
Okay.
You see. And I think I'd like to continue with that.
Lovely.
Good.
Lovely. So, lovely viewers, I don't want to leave Prof. I really don't want him to go. So let's give him the opportunity to grace us with advice in the area. Like, what do you believe in the role of theater in our contemporary society, and how can it be used to address social issues?
I think we have answered the question with the end of your sentence, your question. Theater is one of the most viable sources from which problems, national, international, can be looked at and solved. Either TFG or on stage or whatever, theater is at the center, it's at the core. You must take it very seriously and enhance it.
Okay. So when Prof says TFD, it simply means theater for development.
Correct.
For those who are not really theater people, that's what Prof means by TFD, theater for development.
Correct.
What motivates you to write all the plays, do the things you do?
Let me tell you just give you 1 or 2 examples, okay? The Sudden Return.
Okay.
Some people think it is my best play, but I don't have a best.
You like all of them?
All of them. Now, The Sudden Return is motivated by 2 things. One is that when I went to teach in Cape Coast for how many years? 5 years. I never went home to my hometown to visit and see what was going on. Till I got a scholarship to the UK. And then when I went there, I was shocked by the state of my house where I was born. No. It shouldn't happen. The house. Is this where I'll be brought when I die? The roof caved in and all of that and so forth. So I decided not to make it happen. So I built a house for my mother to stay in and live there till she passed. That was one. So when the play opens, it's a broken house. You see, the sudden return.
Yes.
Until the man says, I've come to stay and build this house again. So that was uninspiring. Secondly, I never believed in this idea of people using other people's story to acquire wealth.
Wow.
So I went to Cape Coast and I met a lady. I won't go into the story of it. And it was believed that her father had used her line. She had several wives
Okay.
to get money. And this girl that I met died in an accident. And I went to the house where the body had been taken. And her sister, two sisters left. One had died a year before. And they were crying, who next?
Oh, so sad.
Hi. And I knew the girl so well. Became very close friends. So I guess
Best friends.
friends, just friends.
Oh.
Luckily, just friends.
Oh, okay.
And so when she passed away in the accident, I decided when I left Ghana for the UK to write this play, The Sudden Return, to commemorate her and let her live in my mind.
Oh.
So you see, what prompts me to write different dimensions. The last one is Akusika. It was inspired by the Ampadu's song, Akusika,
Yes.
which he sang and so forth and recorded. And I love the story that he told in the story when I was growing up. So I ended up having returned from Britain and joined the school. I wrote Akusika right here and had it directed. And so that is how these things happen. So when I say all by my observation, by my experiences.
Prof, what legacy do you hope to leave for in the world of theater? And how you see your work contributing to a larger space in the theater or landscape in the theater?
I think we need to have more playwrights. We've been teaching here for how many years now? I joined the school in 87, right? 87. And each year we produce playwrights.
Yes.
What are the plays when they leave here? They are working, like you are in the bank now.
Prof sold me out.
So you see, be in the bank, but write the play. Be a lawyer, write the play. Direct the play. Be it. Let's do it together. But I'm a teacher. I'm still writing a play. I'm still directing the play. So let's do it together to lift the theater up and up. That's my advice.
Oh, thank you so much, Prof. Prof, before you go, give me a line in Helen of Troy. You used to say that in the lecture hall, and it's just the fees.
Oh.
Give me that line, and we'll draw the curtains.
Oh. In fact, it was a line or two from Dr. Faustus Marlowe. But then Helen was conjured by Mephistopheles for Faustus to take away. Well, Faustus wanted her, Helen, to be his girlfriend that night.
Okay.
And he said, was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burned the topless of towers of Ilium? Sweet Helen, make me immortal with a kiss. And he kisses her. And he takes her away.
Oh.
Thank you.
Viewers, this is Professor Martin Owusu. I just don't want to go, but we have to go. He has a lot to share, and this is a story. Let's keep writing. Whether you're a banker, you're a lawyer, you are whatever, If you're a thespian, you have to continue the line.
Good.
This is where we draw the curtains for today. I am your cute host, O.B. Slender. Join me in another episode. See ya!